Lingo's here at pressure-free.com. It is a messy Monday, and clicking all my little things to make sure everything is working well. Topic today is when you've messed something up, do you keep thinking about it? Do you dwell on it? I sure have. I've messed things up and dwelled on them for years. And I think there's a real societal drive in many of us to keep trying to be so perfect, to keep trying to be the best at everything that we do. And then you come up to a situation where you screwed up. I remember my first audition for the symphonies at the University of Michigan. I played a lot of pieces. And when I got done, the two of them sat there, the two conductors, and they looked at each other and they looked at me and they said, "You realize you played a wrong note. To be natural." I played one wrong note in all of the excerpts. It was in a Tchaikovsky excerpt. And I realized in that moment, oh my goodness, I can't play a single wrong note. Can't play a wrong note. If you're a member of a symphony, everyone will know. And that was a real eye-opener for me because I realized that I'd been getting away with some little mistakes. And now I had to be much more rigorous to not do that. So if you're in music, if you're in drama, if you're in some sort of profession that requires perfection, if you're an accountant, if you have to make sure all the T's are crossed and all the I's are dotted, and so much of our work today requires a lot of precision, if you mess up, it can really feel, you may have let down a lot of people. You may have messed up a project. So there's only so much room for error. I was coaching a quality control engineer once who said that he wakes up every morning in panic over his projects because he has to make sure that quality control is exactly what it needs to be. There's no room for error. He works for the automobile industry. So a lot of our work does require a lot of precision, and it's easier to make mistakes when we're stressed. Because when we're in fight or flight, when we've released those stress hormones, especially in the early part of it, we actually lose our ability to see very well and to hear. So it's easy to make little mistakes when we're in that adrenalized state. What you want to find is what I call the sweet spot. And a psychiatrist who's going to be on my conference on Saturday, and I'll put the link down below here for those of you who would like to join this conference and experience all these speakers. By the way, you don't have to come on Saturday. It's all recorded, but we'd love for you to come live. She put up a graph when we were speaking the other day, and it's a wonderful graph showing that for performance to be ideal, you need to be in a certain state of arousal without triggering fight or flight, without going so deeply that you've gone into releasing too much of your adrenaline. That's going to cause you to underperform. Your performance goes down in that state. So finding the sweet spot where you've got this amount of energy happening in your being and everything is kind of lit up on the inside. I call that deep empowerment. You're lit up from the inside and you're able to do your work really well. You're in the zone. So I do want to give you some tools to help you when you do make a mistake, because we do make mistakes. And if we dwell on them and beat ourselves up over them, that causes underperformance too. You can be in a state of shame, fight or flight because of shame for a long time. So the other day, I really screwed up. I was supposed to give a training at 9, and the time got away from me. It was 9:10, and I was like, trying to get on. Right? Then I couldn't find the link. Has this ever happened? Like you can't find the link, you can't find the things you need to be able to do what you need to do. And I found myself starting to go and fight about, no, there's a reason I'm not on right now. And it was something we could easily make up. It all worked out great. Okay. But boy, that initial beginning of the surge of the panic. So when you start to feel that, like, oh no, I've made this terrible mistake, notice your shoulders will probably go up. Let the shoulders down. Relax the abs. Tune into your body because your mind is going to go crazy. So I usually have my clients tune into body tools when they start to go into that kind of feeling of, oh my God, I'm so messed up. So we need to back down that a little bit, tune into your body, get that breathing going really nice and slow. By the way, I have people breathe out. Apparently Navy SEALs do this too. Someone on the certification program shared last night, box breathing out first. I've been teaching breathing out first forever because when you breathe out first, it allows you to tighten your abs a little, then relax your abs and you can fully breathe in. So start that little bit of breathing. That's going to really help you settle your heart rate. If we can settle that heart rate, you won't trigger fight or flight. So when you notice that you're starting to mess something up or something isn't going well, or you break something or you drop something, tune into your body right away. Take that long, slow breath. Just settle your heart rate down so you don't go into fight or flight. Now you're going to be able to think more clearly about what you can do to remedy this situation, to make amends. Maybe it's an apology, to get yourself back on track. By the way, I think we over-apologize today. And sometimes I feel like the apologies that I hear, particularly in the media, are quite worthless. And so check yourself a little bit that you don't overdo your apology because that's something you'll do in fight or flight. It's like fawning. That's one of the F's: fight, flight, freeze, fib, make up little lies, fawn, over flatter, and fidget. I've added fidgets to the F's because a lot of people, when they go into fight or flight, they just get really jumpy and fidgety, and they're picking at their nails or biting their nails, or they're fidgeting a lot, tapping pens, or the little clicky, clicky, clicky. Ever been in a meeting with a clicker? So check yourself and know and trust you're going to be able to work this out. There's usually a solution to the thing that's happened. And another thing I've noticed is don't be afraid to get help. Get resourceful. When I was an executive of a symphony, I noticed that particularly people with a lot of higher education, like it almost seemed like there was a correlation to number of degrees and whether or not you would ask for help. So it's really okay to ask for help, especially if you've messed up. I think sometimes people will cause a little bit of a mess and try to cover it up and fix it because you're so afraid of the repercussions if someone finds out. Chances are your boss is going to find out. I can't tell you how many times, I can think of a couple of people had situations and little messes occur. And of course I found out about it. And then I've got to deal with it that way instead of the person coming directly to me. And so I really had to impress on people, it's really okay to come to me and let's solve it together. So if you can create that kind of culture in your workplace, in your home, because how many people in your home, if you have children, they'll try to cover it up. They'll try to cover up the mess. It doesn't work. If kids have a party in your house, you can smell that something went down. I have many stories about things like that. So I hope this is helpful. You can really lose a lot of energy over making a mistake, and that doesn't help correct it. So I want you to protect yourself. Pressure free is about protecting yourself so you can unlock your full potential. It's not about perfection. So I hope this is helpful. I hope you have a great, messy Monday, and I'll see you tomorrow morning. Bye.